3 and 12. A few reminders for you before University of Texas gets here. First of all, please silence all cell phones. Flash photography is prohibited. Video recording of press conferences on cell phones and cameras is not permitted. Video will be available afterwards on the NCAA Digital Media Hub. If you're joining us on Zoom, please use the raise hand function for questions. We will address all questions from the room first, and then we'll get to Zoom as time allows. And please, everyone, name an affiliation each time you ask a question, and please let us know who your question is directed towards. Thank you. Texas with the 79-71 win over BYU. Joining us now in the post-game press conference, Texas head coach Sean Miller, along with student athletes Dalen Swain, Batus Fokatias, and Tremont Mark. Coach, congratulations on the win. We'll start with your opening statement, then open it to questions.
Well, I'm beyond thrilled to be able to advance and have the opportunity to play into the next round. I'm thrilled for the University of Texas, thrilled for these guys. One word I would use to describe our group is resilient. Nothing has ever been easy for us, starting with our opening game against Duke and Charlotte. And from there, we've always fought the fight. I think a number of times throughout the year, it looked like, man, can we do it? But we always seem to be able to respond. And obviously our latest challenge happened by how our season ended. And as we entered this tournament in Dayton, I think all of us up here really came to grips with, let's really go out playing at the highest level we can, sticking together. And I think the last couple of games, from a defensive perspective, is about as good as we've done all year. And when you connect the defense with the offense that we've played, you have a team that's certainly dangerous, and that's what I would call us right now. But these three guys here deserve a ton of credit, and just really very, very proud to be here with them.
Please raise your hand if you have a question. We'll bring a microphone to you. We'll start right up here.
Kirk Bowles from the Houston Chronicle. Modest, you obviously had a monster game tonight. How did you feel about playing through all that contact? Because they let a lot go. And then were you agonizing over the missed free throws?
I love play physical with a lot of contact. That's what I like to do. And talking about free throws, I don't know what to say. I just need to work more on that and improve. That's on me. I'm usually making free throws. I never miss that much. I know maybe that was today a bad day. I didn't do good, so I just need to work more on that, and that's it.
Jordan Mendoza, USA Today. Coach, I saw during the broadcast of the mid-game interview, they asked, how do you stop AJ DeBonsa? And you said, I don't think we can't. And he ended up having 35 points today, but it didn't really matter. You guys controlled the game just on all phases. Just how are you able to let a guy have such a dominant game in his own perspective, but also at the same time, you guys just controlled it just almost from the jump?
Yeah, don't misinterpret kind of the deeper meaning to it, and I think these guys understand it. We understood that he has the ability to score like nobody else. What we talked about is a jump shot by him is a victory for us. And what we couldn't afford is that he puts Dalen in great foul trouble, or he fouls our entire team out, because among the many things he does, he puts so many fouls on the opponent that he wears out the other team. And we were able to, play him. And again, I see he had 12 free throws, but these guys were able to play all the way to the end. The key for us, in addition to just him, is not allowing everybody else to join in. That truly was our true game plan, to take away the three-point shot. If you look at the first half, till we went zone and scrambled on the last play of the first half, they had not made a three-point shot. So, we knew he was going to score. We just wanted to make sure that we did a great job rebounding, and that we did as good of a job as we can guarding the rest of the group. And I think that's really why we were able to win.
Over here.
Cedric Golden, Austin American Statesman. Dalen, could you take us through that play where you found Jordan Pope on the other side of the court in front of the Texas bench and you hit that three, and also talk about the resiliency of your group?
That play, we drew up a back door, I think, for Cam Heidi, and then they defended it well, so I tried to get downhill. I knew the defense would collapse on me because I scored well in the paint, and I saw him in the corner, jumped up, made the pass. We all know how good of a shooter Jordan is, so I felt like that was a great play for us, and he knocked it down. That's what he does in big-time moments. And to our resiliency, like Coach Miller said, we didn't end the season how we wanted to, but we never folded. We never gave up on each other. I kind of think it made us closer, really. We kind of had like a players-only little meeting, and I felt like that built our chemistry, and that's what is making us a pretty dangerous team right now.
Jack Magruder, Field Level Media, shown to your left. Looks like the last minute you trapped AJ every time he touched the ball, every place he was on the floor. I mean, is that what you were trying to do there?
I mean, we really tried a lot of different things. Again, he had 35. You know, I guess if you're going to nitpick his game, he did have 5 turnovers. But he's unlike, I mean, he's a great player. I mean, he's just, that's probably not giving him enough credit. But again, we knew that he was going to be very difficult to defend. We did not want him to foul our team out, and we wanted to do as good of a job guarding everybody else as we possibly could. But you're right, if they brought a screener up, we would try to keep 2 on him as best we could.
Mookie Alexander, SB Nation, Coach Miller. Obviously, the NC State game, that ending had a little bit of a scare because of all the difficulties dealing with NC State's full court press. In this BYU game, in the final minute, how do you think the team responded? They didn't turn the ball over, but
Yeah.
in general, how do you think they responded to kind of building upon what happened in the
Yeah.
NC State game?
No, you're right. Finishing the game the right way, it's never as easy as you think it is. I mean, I thought T. Mark, you know, when Moda's kind of went on his streak there with free throws, and again, Moda's played potentially the best game that he's played at Texas today. A big reason we won is because of what he did. But down the stretch when he was missing, you know, sometimes that can be contagious. When Tremont got fouled, got the ball in, him going to the line and making 2 allowed us to take a deep breath. So I thought that was big. And then, look, we called a timeout. We protected the ball. And in the NCAA tournament, to play with 9 turnovers, that's what we did. We'll sign up for that. Again, one of the many good things we did in this game is we played with single-digit turnovers.
Lindsay.
Lindsay Schnell, The Athletic. For Sean and any of the players, we made a lot about the fact that you guys didn't get a lot of sleep the other night, but how much do you think it helped that you had a game and you were ready to play?
I mean, we were fired up no matter what the circumstances were. You know, we came out here to win, and that's exactly what we did. We didn't get much sleep, but we got enough sleep to win the game, and that's all that matters.
Sean, this is a question about Moda's.
Name and affiliation,
Oh, sorry.
please.
Eric Anderson, Associated Press. You talked about how this was probably Montez's best game, but in the first half, he had as many rebounds as BYU had as a team. I mean, what kind of can you say about a dominant performance like that?
Yeah, I mean, I can't really speak on BYU's end, but they're a very good rebounding team. A big part of their success this year in a great conference like the Big 12 is, you know, they rebound. Offensive rebound, defensive rebound. We talked a lot to these guys the last day and a half that, you know, you can kind of get caught up in AJ, the great player he is, and focused sometimes on the wrong things. The biggest point going into the game is we have to rebound. And I thought Moda set the tone. If you look, we had 40 rebounds, 16 offensive. They had 8 offensive and a total of 31. So the 40 to 31 discrepancy, you know, clearly is a big reason that we were able to win. And Moda's had a lot to do with that.
Up front.
Eric Henry, 24/7 Sports. Sean, earlier this year, you talked about wanting this team to embody a Sean Miller coach team and kind of take on the identity of your teams. Do you feel that now, this part of the season in March Madness, they're starting to take on that identity?
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know what a Sean Miller team is. I mean, if in that context, but I think really, to your point, is like, look, you have to win not just with one side of the ball. Like in basketball, you got to be able to get stops. Sometimes you have to be able to get a win when the ball doesn't go in or you don't play as well on offense. You know, through the 32-game season, there's going to be those nights, and when you can do both, when you can be a good defensive team and offensive team, that's when, you know, you really can become special. We're hitting our stride defensively at a good time. I think these guys are really like locked in. Dalen talked about being closer as the season has grown on. You know, sometimes you can fracture. Our guys have really, especially recently, they're as close of a group as they've been all year, and you could start to see that on the defensive end.
Yeah, Kirk Bowles from the Houston Chronicle. Tremont, how comfortable are you getting with these last-minute heroics, sinking the 4 free throws, and also how do you explain a career-high 4 blocks?
You know,
4 blocks. Wow.
just going out there playing hard, playing my heart out, and just like my team was doing. That's what we're doing, just playing our heart out. And the four blocks just came. Just that's what happens when you play hard. And the last second shots that I get, I feel comfortable with them, and they're going in. So that's all I can say.
Zach Dimmo with Texas Longhorns and SI. Tremont, going back to those 4 blocks right here. Did you 2 of those were against AJ DeBonsa? Did you kind of take that matchup personally whenever you were on him? And then also these past 2 games, how have you leaned on your previous experience going back to Houston in March Madness to kind of help you find success in these games?
Oh yeah, me and Dalen were kind of switching on and off of DeBonsta, but when I got my turn on him, I took it personally, just like I take any other matchup, and I executed some stops on him. Of course, he's a great player, so he's going to score some buckets. But the stops I got, I felt good about it, and it helped our team win. And yeah. What was your other question? I'm having a great March Madness experience. This is my best one for me. This team is great. I love this team. We're doing it in a very fun fashion. So I'm just happy that we can keep this thing going, and we're going to try to get another win.
This will be our last question.
Moki Alexander, SB Nation. I guess this is for all 4 of you. I know this is a neutral site game, but it felt like all of Provo ended up in Portland, or at least inside the Moda Center. So in a way, did it almost feel like a road win with how loud the BYU crowd was throughout the game?
I would say so for sure. We kind of knew that coming out for the warm-ups. We saw a lot of blue in the stands, and Coach Miller mentioned it a little bit before the game. But, being an underdog in terms of attendance of your fans, it kind of adds an extra chip on your shoulder. We were already motivated coming out to win this game, but when we seen how many of their fans showed up and how they had the crowd on their side, I think that was just some added motivation, and we handled it well.
And look, we're in Portland. Obviously, I don't know who's going to win the next game, but there's a reason that, from the region perspective, certain teams are closer. If our game's in Dallas, it would probably feel different for us. So that's all part of the tournament. You kind of earn your way into it. But I will tell you, we've played in so many different arenas at this point, so many hard, tough road games in the SEC. At this point, you're pretty much hardened and you're ready for everything. It's about executing and being the best we can be. And I thought tonight that's why we won.
Gentlemen, thank you very much. Congratulations, and we'll see you tomorrow. We'll have BYU here in a few minutes. All right, BYU taking the 79-71 loss to Texas. Joining us in the BYU postgame press conference, head coach Kevin Young, along with student athletes Robert Wright III, AJ DeBonsa, and Richie Saunders. Coach Wood, open up with a statement from you.
Yeah, congrats to Texas. They played a hard-fought game, and credit to Coach Miller. I mean, for them to play in the first four and then have to travel out here and do all the things that they did, that's impressive. So they deserve all the credit. They made all the plays, and they did a great job. You know, I thought for our guys, I was disappointed in our first half defensive effort and intensity and rebounding. I thought that's where the game. We knew the game was going to get won there. That's all we talked about was the rebounding kind of coming into the game. So that was a little disappointing. Not a little, a lot disappointing. And then I thought our guys fought their tails off in the second half. So in a lot of ways, it was a microcosm kind of our season where we faced a lot of challenges this year, and just like we did in this game, we battled back, and that's kind of the mantra of this group. You know, they never quit. So I'm really proud of the group. You know, it hurts obviously seeing Richie over there in his street clothes. You know, he's been the heart and soul of our program since I took this job. So I love him, and it's awesome that he's up here with these two guys. So with that, I'll open it up.
Raise your hand if you have a question. We'll bring the microphone to you. Come down here and then in the back.
Eric Anderson, Associated Press. I mean, you talked about the rebounding a little bit, but was it at all surprising to see in the first half where Vokatitis had as many rebounds by himself as you guys had as a team?
Absolutely, and our guys heard about it at halftime, and that was just, like I said, it was just super disappointing, you know, because we've been a really good rebounding team for the most of the year, and in particular in our sort of resurgence at the end of the season. So, you know, we knew how good he was. You know, you watch the tape; it's pretty obvious to see it. So it was, you know, we challenged our bigs at halftime, and not just the bigs, the guards too. I thought we did a much better job in the second half. But yes, extremely disappointing that he basically manhandled our whole team in the first half.
In the back.
Darnell Dixon, Daily Herald. AJ, with that game, what did you like in the second half of what you guys were able to do to get back in when you were down 17? What things did you guys do well?
I just like how we persevered. That's kind of been our identity the whole year. We were a second half team. You know, obviously the first half was just shaky with the rebounding, but I'm happy that we fought back, and you know, we could have folded and lost by 20, but we tried to cut it down and make a push for the win.
Over here.
Jackson Payne, Deseret News. AJ, as your year at BYU comes to a close, if this is the end, I mean, how would you describe your time at BYU and just the way it ended especially?
No, I love it. I love this place. I'm happy I chose here. I definitely made the right decision. I knew coming in I made the right decision ever since my visit with the coaching staff, with how it's just a family atmosphere, talking to the academic advisor, everything about this place. I'm just happy. But as far as the season, it's tough dealing with that type of adversity, but I'd rather do it with nobody else.
Over here.
Zach Dimmock, Texas Longhorns, NSI. Richie, I know you didn't play in this game and you've been out for a little while, but why was it important for you to sit up here with the guys here at the press conference tonight?
You know, I mean, just we've gone through a lot together, and Tyson Jex, who is media rep, you know, I guess that's one of my heroes in life, and he asked me to be up here with these guys, and do a lot for that guy and for these guys. But just proud of my team. For fighting, for staying together, and it's been an amazing time being with them.
Coach Jordan Mendoza, USA Today. There was a lot of hype going into this season for you guys, and just being able to be around this team and be around AJ. I mean, what has he meant to BYU basketball, and kind of how would you kind of summarize what the season has been, knowing that it maybe didn't end exactly the way you wanted it?
Yeah, I mean, disappointing, no question about it. I mean, we want to advance in this tournament, but so does everybody else, you know, and that's why you play the games. And like I said, that's why you got to give Texas credit. But, you know, in terms of AJ, you know, I think, you know, I'll probably look back in 20 years and just have a lot of joy that I was able to be a part of his story, and to do it with guys like Rob Wright, who's been tremendous all year. It's been fun watching these two guys, really all three of these guys come together. I mean, you know, it is what it is. But at one point, this was the highest scoring trio in college basketball. It was fun for me as a coach to sit back and watch three really good individual talents all kind of come together and figure out how to play off of each other. And obviously, you know, AJ gets a lot of the headlines, rightfully so. I thought there was moments in tonight's game where he just looked like that Portland Trailblazers floor should have been down there. You know, he just looked like an NBA player, the stuff he was able to do on the court. And you know, him playing off of Rob, I thought their togetherness really grew throughout the season. But in terms of AJ coming to BYU, man, you know, it's been tremendous. You know, Yegor came in and set the foundation, and then AJ kind of took the torch. And so it's cool to hear him say, you know, how much he's enjoyed being here, and, you know, he's going to be a Coug for life. And, you know, that's what's awesome. That's why I told the guys in the locker room. It's probably my favorite thing about coaching is you get a chance to just make relationships for life, and they just go far beyond the court. And just glad that AJ's part of that, and so are these two other guys.
Mookie Alexander, SB Nation. Coach Young, right around the final minute of the game, it looked as if you were trying to tell your team to intentionally foul Vokatitis, who went 0 for 7 in his free throws in the second half. And was that the case? And did you consider trying to intentionally foul Vokatitis earlier in the game when it appeared as if he was just having a big struggle at the free throw line?
Yeah, we definitely were targeting him at the end. In terms of trying to do it intentionally prior to when we did it, I mean, it's a little tricky because of the rules. You don't want to get intentional fouls, and they get the ball back and things like that. And a little nervous about that. But I thought we executed, you know, that strategy well. You know, we just weren't able to come up with enough rebounds and stops to really, you know, have it benefit us. I thought like he missed the one and we came down, we got a little unorganized in our transition offense. They did a good job of getting back. We had a play drawn up. Our guys kind of went rogue in a good way, and I thought they did a good job, Texas did, of in their transition defense. And if had we have scored there, obviously that would have been a big shift in the game, but we're unable to convert that.
All the way over here on the left.
Jack Magruder from Field Level Media. AJ, how do you plan to attack the next few weeks as you make a decision on your future?
Just talk to my family. You know, my mom ultimately, she kind of is the big boss. She kind of makes the decisions in life with my family. So, I mean, just talk to her, see what she says, and y'all will get an answer in the next couple weeks.
Over there.
Jackson Payne, Deseret News. Richie, as your time at BYU comes to an end, you know, you're a four-year guy, you're an all-time BYU Cougar, and just to have grown up around the program and being a fan of the program, what do you make of your legacy at BYU, and maybe what are some of your favorite memories from your time at BYU?
That's a big question, just in a few sentences, but I mean, it's been a dream come true. You know, I mean, winning here has been one of my, just like looking back, I know for a very long time I'll remember winning here, and just the joy that brought me to be able to put on this uniform. I mean, I think last year there's, you know, that run was one of my core memories, along with that Iowa State game, double OT. If you guys remember that, that was a really fun one. But still trying to look back on this year and work through those emotions and stuff. But this has been a dream come true. I've loved it.
In the back.
Robbie McCombs, Vanquish the Foe. Kevin, when you look back on how this roster was constructed, and even look at your first season, how it was constructed, how do you think that will impact your decisions as you build your roster for next season?
I think it's hard to evaluate this year in terms of that question because, and again, I'm not crying over spilled milk. Things happen in life, and you got to figure it out. Which I want to say this before I answer that question. I thought I'm just proud of this group because in terms of the roster construction, it was constructed in a way that once AJ came, we were building it essentially around him and obviously Richie. That's why Rob was such a humongous get for us. And then we tried to build it around that. And so we liked the level of maturity that we had, number one. You know, we liked the shooting that we had. I mean, you know, I'm reminded of there's just no substitute for shot making. End of story. We were 4 of 22 from 3. We had a hard time shooting the ball the last couple weeks of the season. Our spacing was not where I like it to be. But we just, it's the cards that we've been dealt. And so, how this season impacts what we do, I think for sure just shooting is always for me something that there's no substitute for. But again, in terms of this year's team, it's hard to really judge, what we constructed because we were never able to see it with 5 season-ending injuries, which is crazy. But I think there's not guys like AJ that come around too often, right? So I think we tried to build it around a unique player. And now as we fast forward for next year, trying to get shooting, around Rob and have some dynamic spacing, and like we did our first year, is definitely something that will be under heavy consideration.
And we are out of time. Gentlemen, thank you very much for your time. Congratulations on a great season.
Thank you.
Thank you.